Yes!
I didn't know.
When I think of board games, one of the first ones I think of is the classic Parker Brothers game, Monopoly. This game was made in 1935 during the Great Depression. And have any of you played a long Monopoly game, a long Monopoly game of Monopoly before? Well, you probably know at least some of the rules. If you pass go, you collect 200. You land on someone's property, then you have to pay them. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most amount of money wins. But at the end of the game, whether you win or lose, all of the money, all of the houses, the hotels, the pieces, everything goes back into the box. You don't keep any of it because it's just a game. It's just pretend. Sometimes when I'm in the midst of a game, I forget that I'm playing a game and I'm focused on winning. And this could be when you're playing Monopoly or playing some kind of video game or some kind of sports game or whatever it is. Sometimes we just are so focused on winning. But now I ask you, what is the focus of your life? Oftentimes, then if we take a look at our bank statement or our calendars, it gives us an idea of what our focus is and what our priorities are. So what are yours? Are they mostly Christian-based priorities, or do you have worldly priorities? Very early in the morning, when it was still dark outside, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place to pray. While he prayed, Simon and his companions went up and to look for him. And when they found him, they exclaimed, "Everyone is looking for you." Jesus replied, "Let us go somewhere else, to a nearby village, so that I may preach there also. That is why I have come." So I have traveled throughout Galilee, preaching in their synagogues and driving out demons. So what is important to us? We usually consider to be the most important, to be the most urgent. For example, right now, if you had to go and if you had to use the restroom, well, you would pause this video and you would go out to the restroom. Everything else doesn't really seem to matter at that point because that is your priority. We have so many things in our lives that take those priority spots. Whether you've been waiting for a movie to come out or a certain show to come out, or maybe you've been waiting to buy something like the latest Surface Pro or Google Pixel 2 or a car, maybe even some big baller shoes. But no matter what it is, even if it's an event or a trip you're going to go on, whatever that priority is it an important one? And are there other Christian priorities that you have in your life? So now I'm going to go ahead and say that prayer needs to be a priority in our lives. I'm going to read this quote that I found online. It reads, "Prayer is a lot like eating. If we rarely eat, our physical health will suffer. We'll be weak and we'll be sick. It will affect our ability to carry out everyday activities throughout our life. In a similar way, if we rarely pray, our spiritual life will lack substance. We'll approach the challenges and successes of life as our own, and we'll act as if we're not totally dependent on God for everything." I found this other analogy that I really like. It reads, "Prayer is the grease, some might say, that keeps the gears and wheels in our life in good working order. Without prayer, we see ourselves alone against the world, left to fend off the storms of life on our own wits and brawn. And it is in this course of prayer that we learn to see the true state of things, that we are creatures within a creation, creatures that are dependent on a maker and all other parts of the creation. As such, never ever alone." So how did Jesus do it? The passage says that he got up early in the morning to go pray and to do what he needed to do. So other times might work better for you, but the point is that you should try to figure out when and where you are going to take these priorities. What are you going to do about it? This prayer time and meditation and Bible reading is a time where you can renew your mind and strength. If you focus your mind on what Christ says is important, what would you do differently? What are you going to do to make prayer a priority in your life? Because Jesus wants to change our focus, because he knows that in the end, of when our lives are over, that our money, our possessions, our properties, and everything we have is going back into the box, because our life is a big game of Monopoly. And in the end, it all goes back into the box. So guys, thanks for sticking around watching the video. I hope y'all are able to figure out what priorities need to be in the top of your lives, at the top of your lives. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the flippity flip.
Yeah.